This video is for the men dealing with POIS. If that's not you, no worries. I've got other content for general nervous system recovery on my channel. So again, this video is for the POIS community. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Jeremy. Over the past 10 years, I battled over 30 different symptoms, and POIS was just one of the conditions that I dealt with. You know, I tried every diet, supplement, and healing modality that I can find, spending over $25,000 trying to fix myself. I eventually healed, and now I help men all over the world do the same. This video isn't about a quick hack or a supplement. This is about understanding what's happening in your body, why POIS isn't an illness, and how to retrain your nervous system so the symptoms just eventually lose their grip. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's happening in your brain and body, how to respond when the symptoms do hit, and I'll even answer a few of the most common questions I get from my coaching clients in a Q&A section at the end of this video. So make sure you stick around. Let's get into it. First, we need to talk about the limbic system. Every single human being on this planet has one, and it lives in our brains. Its number one job, you guys, is to keep you safe. That's it. Everything else comes second. Think of the limbic system like a built-in safety alarm, one that'll go to extreme lengths if it thinks that you're in danger. If a tiger were to come walking into this room right now, I wouldn't need to stop and think. I wouldn't need logic. I wouldn't need a plan. My system would instantly flip my nervous system into fight or flight and get me out of here. That same system fires in everyday life too. Think about the last time your heart raced after getting a stressful text, or you walked into a room and immediately felt tension in your body. Nothing actually happened, but your body reacted anyway. That's your limbic system. And when that happens, it can feel like your body is betraying you. It's not random, it's just doing its job. Some people call the limbic system the lizard brain because it doesn't speak in logic. You can't reason with it. You can't tell it to calm down and expect it to listen. It operates purely on protection. A lot of these alarm responses come from a part of the limbic system called the amygdala. Think of it as the trigger that pulls your body's emergency lever. Sometimes it misfires, especially if your nervous system has become sensitized. When that happens, the limbic system starts detecting danger where there isn't any. For some men, those false alarms turn into very real physical and mental symptoms, even though nothing is actually wrong with the body. Here's the missing piece. Most people think POIS is an illness, but what's really happening is a sensitized brain and nervous system. Your limbic system has mistakenly learned to interpret sexual arousal or an ejaculation as a threat, and it's trying to protect you the only way that it knows how, by creating symptoms. For some men, that looks like heart racing and dizziness. For others, it's brain fog that lingers for hours or days. Some feel crushing fatigue that hits like a brick wall. The symptoms, the intensity, and the duration may vary, but the mechanism is the same. This is not your body failing. It's your nervous system overprotecting. And here's the part that almost every man misses. The symptoms themselves are not the problem. They're signals, feedback. What actually matters most is what you do after they show up. The panic, the hyperfixation, monitoring every sensation. That reaction teaches your brain, yes, this really is dangerous. And it keeps the loop alive. And I get it. These symptoms can make you feel very broken, less like yourself, less like a man. But that's fear talking, you guys. That's not reality. This isn't about discipline, willpower, masculinity, or character. It's not a failure. It's a nervous system doing exactly what it evolved to do. It's just a bit confused right now. One of my coaches, Sean Kassam's favorite analogies explains this perfectly. Think of your nervous system like a car alarm stuck on high alert. Right now, it goes off even if a car just drives by or if a leaf brushes against it. It's loud, disruptive. It makes you panic. But the alarm system isn't broken and the car isn't damaged. The system is just oversensitive. This is also why POIS can feel like a full-blown illness, because the nervous system can mimic real medical conditions. The symptoms feel real because they are real, but they aren't coming from damage. They're coming from protection. And here's the part most men never hear in the forums or online. This alarm system can be retrained. Car alarms can be reset. And the same is true for your POIS. That's exactly what we're going to get into next. Now, the next question I usually get is, okay, but how did this even happen to me? There are two ways people end up with a sensitized nervous system: a slow burn over time, or suddenly after a traumatic event. For me, it was both. I was neglecting my mental and emotional health. I was drinking to cope, obsessed with porn, burying my issues, working a high-stress job, stuck in tense relationships, and then bam, I got hit with a panic attack. My system was never the same after that. Looking back, my nervous system gave me plenty of warning signs that I was redlining it for too long. I just didn't listen. One of my favorite quotes that I picked up from my health journey says it perfectly. Listen to your body when it whispers, or be forced to hear it when it screams. Our limbic system, your brain's internal fire alarm, can become overly sensitive over time. This happens when you put stress on your nervous system for long periods. Chronic work stress, life stress, overthinking, hypervigilance, constantly pushing your brain and body past its limits. Over months or even years, the system starts to misfire. Not because it's broken, but because it's trying to protect you and it becomes overprotective. Even certain personality traits can contribute to this. Being a perfectionist, a people pleaser, someone who's always pushing, always trying to get it right. Think about it. You didn't just wake up one day and decide to sensitize your nervous system. It happened gradually, subconsciously, without you even realizing it. You guys, this isn't unique to POIS. People with chronic anxiety have limbic systems that flag social situations as dangerous. People with chronic fatigue have a limbic system that flags movement as a threat. People with food sensitivities have a limbic system that flag certain foods as unsafe. Same mechanism, different trigger. Your brain isn't broken, your body isn't damaged. Circling back to my coach Sean's analogy explains this perfectly. You see, at first, your car alarm would only go off if somebody actually hit your car. But over time, through stress or trauma, the alarm became more sensitive. And this is where most people accidentally make things worse. Every time the alarm goes off, they run outside, panicking, trying to fix it, shut it off, or escape it. What that teaches the alarm is, good job, you're right, this really is dangerous. So the alarm even gets more sensitive. Now, even a leaf brushing against a car sets it off. Not because the leaf is dangerous, you guys, but because the system is on high alert. But imagine if you stopped reacting, you didn't rush outside, you didn't panic, you didn't treat the alarm like an emergency. Over time, the alarm would start to recalibrate because nothing bad is actually happening and its sensitivity would slowly return to normal. Once a nervous system is sensitized, it doesn't need a real threat anymore. It just needs something it learned to associate with danger. In your case, that association became sexual arousal or an ejaculation. Not because an ejaculation is harmful, because at some point, symptoms probably showed up and fear stepped in. And from that moment on, the system learned this equals danger. Again, your brain thinks it's protecting you. And this part is critical. Even though the symptoms can feel intense, even debilitating at times, they aren't dangerous. They're feedback, signals, a system doing its job a little too aggressively. The symptoms themselves are not the problem. What almost every man gets wrong is what he does next. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. Because learning how to respond differently is how this whole thing unwinds. Let me break this down with a quick visual because once you see this, you can't unsee this. I've got 3 cups here. One is labeled first fear. These are your symptoms. One is labeled second fear. This is your reaction to the symptoms. And one is labeled you. Here is how this actually works. Say you're in a sexual situation and arousal comes. Maybe you have an ejaculation or you're even just anticipating one. And your limbic system misreads that as danger. That reaction is first fear. Boom. The cup pours straight into you. You didn't choose it. You didn't cause it. Your nervous system just fired off a protection signal. It's important to note, you can't stop this, you guys. This is happening at a subconscious level in a split second. First fear always shows up in 3 predictable ways: physical sensations, emotions, thoughts. That's not you failing. That's your limbic system doing its thing. Again, this is where almost every man loses the game. What do we do next? We react to the reaction. We start monitoring. We start fixing, analyzing, resisting, fighting, trying to make it stop. That reaction is second fear. It's everything you're adding on top of the situation. So now this cup starts pouring into you too. And when second fear gets added, you're signaling back to your limbic system, he's worried. This must be dangerous. So first fear fires again, louder, trying to protect you even more. More symptoms, more thoughts, more emotions. Then you react to it again. The trigger becomes more sensitive, and now you're stuck in a loop. You guys, this is what we call the symptom cycle. Not because the symptoms are dangerous, but because your response taught the brain that they were. So the goal is not to stop first fear. That's where I went wrong for years. The goal is to remove second fear entirely. You don't fight what shows up. You don't argue with it. You don't try to calm it down. You observe it from a neutral state. You let the sensations, thoughts, and emotions be there, and you continue with your life the best that you can. That's how you communicate safety to a system that doesn't understand logic. Your limbic system doesn't speak your native tongue. It doesn't respond to reassurance. It only watches what you do next. And it's watching you 24/7. When you don't panic, when you don't flee, when you don't fix, when you don't collapse your life around the symptoms, you're showing it, I am fine. And over time, not overnight, it starts to get the memo. The volume comes down, the sensitivity turns down, the symptoms lose their grip. Let me make this real for you guys. When I was dealing with POIS, if I even thought of women, my symptoms would hit and my instinct was to zoom in on them. Why is this happening? How long will this last? What did I do wrong? I thought I was being responsible, but what I was actually doing was teaching my brain that arousal was dangerous. Once I understood this model, my response changed. Symptoms would show up, AKA first fear, and instead of reacting and adding second fear, I'd say internally, okay, there's the alarm. Not with fear, not with frustration, just awareness. Then I would go on with my day the best that I could. Not perfectly, not forcefully, just normally. That non-reaction was the message. I was showing my limbic system that I was okay by removing second fear and stepping out of the symptom cycle. I started doing this over and over and over, and slowly but surely, my limbic system stopped firing off the first fear altogether. POIS didn't disappear because I fought it. It disappeared because I stopped proving it was a threat. And this applies to you too. Different symptoms, same nervous system, same rules. This isn't symptom management, you guys. This is retraining. Not a Band-Aid, not coping. This is how real healing happens. So here's the key takeaway. There's a lot more that goes into this work, but this is a perfect starting point if you're on the fence about this stuff. You genuinely have nothing to lose by trying it. For the next month, don't try to stop the first fear. You can't, and you don't need to. Just observe your symptoms, emotions, thoughts, physical sensations without adding second fear. And stay centered in awareness and continue with your life the best that you can. No panicking, no fixing, no fleeing. Just notice what happens from a neutral state. Your limbic system is always watching what you do next. It doesn't speak in logic. It learns through repetition and behavior. Every time the symptoms show up and you don't react with fear, you're teaching your nervous system, I'm okay. Over time, it notices. The sensitivity will start to turn down, the alarm fires less often. And when you begin noticing shifts, even small ones, please come back to this video and leave a comment. Tell me what changed. That's how you'll know this isn't just information, it's actually working. Here's an important disclaimer. I'm not suggesting you suddenly ejaculate every day and pretend like nothing is happening, white knuckling it through your symptoms. That is not the approach. You guys, this is a slow and intentional process. Depending on how sensitized your nervous system is, maybe just start off with triggering a little, respond correctly to the symptoms, let your system return to baseline, stay there for a while, then gradually crease again. So you basically want to trigger, respond properly, stabilize, and repeat. This is how you safely expand your window of tolerance. Remember, you guys, this is a marathon, not a race. So take your time. Meet yourself with patience, grace, and compassion. Now that you can actually see what's happening in the nervous system, I want to answer some questions that guys I worked with ask, because I guarantee you've asked some of these too. Number one, POIS feels both mental and physical. Am I broken? This is probably the most important one to answer first. POIS feels mental and physical because the nervous system controls the entire body. The limbic system can absolutely create very real, very physical symptoms: heart rate changes, dizziness, brain fog, muscle tension, fatigue, digestive issues, histamine releases, inflammation. None of this is imagined, you guys. Where people get stuck is wrongfully equating POIS with being broken or weak or somehow less of a man. That's just not true. This isn't a character flaw. This isn't a failure of your willpower. And it's not a reflection of who you are as a man. It's a sensitized nervous system doing exactly what it thinks is right. Question number 2, how is the limbic system even able to create all these mystery symptoms? Because the limbic system is directly connected to the autonomic nervous system, the immune system, the endocrine system, histamine release, digestion, inflammation, etc. That's why symptoms can feel random, but they're not. They're protective responses, not damage. This is why POIS can look so different from person to person, yet still follow the same pattern underneath. Question number 3, did I cause this? Does how I entered POIS matter? The short answer is no. Your experience is valid, but your exit doesn't depend on your entry. The limbic system doesn't care how this all started. It only cares about whether you're safe now. So there's no need to replay the past, analyze every decision, or figure out where you went wrong. You didn't mess this up. Question number 4, can POIS get worse over time? The answer is yes, it can, but not because the condition is degenerative, but because fear and vigilance train the nervous system. Again, the more you monitor, brace, panic, or try to control the symptoms, the more the alarm learns that the threat is real. Here's the good news, you guys. Anything learned can be unlearned. And once the nervous system starts to feel safe again, symptoms lose their purpose. Question number 5, is nofap or avoiding intimacy the only way out? My short answer is no. Avoidance can reduce symptoms temporarily, but it also reinforces the belief that sex or an ejaculation is dangerous. And remember, what you resist persists, and avoidance teaches the limbic system danger, not safety. So while nofap might feel helpful short term, it often strengthens the very association you're trying to undo. Healing isn't about avoiding life, you guys. It's about removing fear from the experience. Question number 6, why can't diets, supplements, or protocols fix this? Well, here's the thing, you guys. I tried them all. Carnivore, egg-heavy diets, vitamin D protocols, elimination diets, supplement stacks on supplements. And there's no doubt that you can get relief. And that can feel very encouraging. But if the nervous system is still perceiving danger, symptoms eventually return or shift. That doesn't mean that you failed. It just means you were working downstream. And we need to go upstream to the root cause and work there. Question number 7. Do I need to dig up old traumas or fix something from my past? No, you guys, you don't need to relive your trauma. You don't need to analyze your childhood. You don't need to find the thing. Limbic system retraining works forward, not backwards. Safety in the present teaches the brain faster than revisiting the past ever could. Question number 8, is healing possible without constant fixing? Yes, this is where most people finally turn the corner. Constant fixing tells the brain that something is wrong. One of the most liberating things I did when I started seeing results was throwing out my box of supplements. Healing happens when your relationship changes to the symptoms. That's the lever. All right, you guys, that's the foundation. If you take anything else from this video, take this. You're not broken. Your body isn't failing you. Your nervous system is just stuck trying to protect you. And this protection can be retrained. You don't need to fight your symptoms. You don't need to fix yourself. You just need to teach your brain that you're safe again. And when you do that consistently, things change. I've watched it happen in my own life, and now I see it happen with the men I work with every single day. If any of you guys want more support, I'll put a few resources below. I'm still personally using the Reorigin program. It's great for nervous system retraining. And if you guys do decide to try it, you can use my code Jeremy at checkout for a discount. If you want more hands-on help, I do coach men one-on-one all over the world. I'll leave my email below if you guys want to reach out. I also put together a POIS recovery roadmap. You can download it for free below. Hop on my email list where I'll send you tips and tools straight to your inbox. Totally optional, just there if you guys want the extra support. But either way, you can heal. You're not stuck, you're not doomed, and you're definitely not alone in this. I appreciate you guys for being here. Peace.